right, welcome to Two Guys, One Take. I'm Noah, and that is Turner. And Turner, we just watched the New York Knicks take a commanding 2-0 lead on the number one seed Boston Celtics, the reigning champion Boston Celtics. What the fuck just happened?
That is wild. For that to happen two times, that's crazy, man. Like, up 12 mostly the whole game, and just, I mean, I think everyone and their fucking mother thought that this was going to be done in four. Especially in Boston, man. The Garden.
I thought this was a bad matchup for the Knicks. I still think this is a bad matchup for the Knicks, even after two games. I don't understand what's happening. They were up between 8 and 14 the whole game. And then again in the fourth quarter, they give up. That was a 21-2 run they gave up to let the Knicks back in it. And then they looked lost on the last possession again, where Tatum drove and Mikal locked him up.
I mean, I don't know how Mikal's doing it. Like, going from 48 minutes and now he just played 43 minutes. Like, that dude has a all-time battery. But the Jason Tatum stat line, he's putting up prime Rudy Gobert numbers, dude. 13 and 14.
This has been a rough Tatum series.
I mean, we've had some rough just Tatum playoff games in the past 2 years, dude.
I just got a Devin text. Celtics fucking suck. So that's straight from a Celtics fan. That's
not good. That's the biggest Celtics fan you'll ever meet, too.
Direct from a Celtics fan who's never been a Clippers fan. I still think this is a bad matchup for the Knicks, but they have essentially the Knicks just want to be within striking distance because with like a minute left, because Brunson is the best closer, or one of the best closers. I think he's going to get Clutch Player of the Year, like we've said a million times. So if they just keep it close, but the thing is, they don't even keep it close throughout the game. They just make it close late. The Celtics have been awful down the stretch.
Yeah, they're doing it with a 7-man rotation too. Like,
yeah,
how did you let Josh Hart drop 23 tonight?
All hustle.
Big Purr with the 21 and 17, man.
Big Purr. I'll tell you what the Big Purr thing is, though. When the Celtics can play Kristaps, Porzingis, big minutes, he struggles. But since he has this illness thing going on and he can't play big minutes, I mean, Cat is better than Al Horford at this point in his career. So it's like, and better than Luke Cornett. So
yeah, I mean, we need to get that man in the iron lung. That dude. It's always something with fucking Porzingis. Like, either he splits his head open or he fucking can't breathe.
He does seem to get himself into trouble injury wise, or just now he's got this illness that's been just lingering all year. Kind of weird, but man, going back to MSG up 2-0 for the Knicks, I don't think they ever thought. I think even if you talk to the most optimistic Knicks fan you could find before this series, they probably would have said 1-1 going back to MSG. So the fact that it's 2-0, you stole two on the road. I mean, this is a major uphill battle now for the Celtics.
You could have talked to Tibbs and he would have been like, "We're gonna play our hardest, man."
Yeah, 1-1 would be great.
Yeah,
essentially
1-1 going back to New York would be prime, and
2-0.
2-0 is unheard of. I don't think anyone could have ever saw this coming at all. But
all of that being said, I still wouldn't be surprised if we're coming back to Boston and it's 2-2. But I also think realistically, the Knicks probably get one at home. So 3-1 heading back to Boston is scary.
That's wild, dude. Like, I'm actually lost for words. I mean, especially I thought the first game was a fluke, but that was
the first game felt fluky because of the 3-point shooting and the variance and the fact that the Celtics, you're not expecting them to miss a record number of threes again, which they didn't miss a record number in this game, but it wasn't like they were on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. OG has stepped up because before this series, didn't have any confidence in OG stepping up. I think I said Mikal and OG, like, even though they have the experience of being on finals teams, and OG's he didn't play in that finals, but he was on the team that won it. Just felt like they disappeared at times that were the most important, but they have both Mikal defensively and OG on both sides
Yeah.
have stepped up in the biggest moments of this series already.
100%, dude. And like OG's always guarding like a power forward too. He's always playing big.
Well,
Um,
when you can, if you're watching the games, you can see when Tatum gets a switch, um, like off of OG, like even against Mikal, who's a good defender, he's looking to go. But when he
yeah,
has OG on him, he doesn't want anything to do with that.
yeah. And I mean, with that first game, we said that Jalen Brunson's going to do his thing. Obviously, he didn't tonight, but he's going to do his thing. And the only way that Knicks are going to have a chance in this series is if one of their other role players at least gets 20 to 25.
OG and Josh Hart.
Yeah, they did it. I mean,
Yeah,
Josh Hart definitely stepped up, but in the first game, like OG did his thing, and no one else really did other
yeah.
than him. So
I
it's
think
weird.
very weird. I mean, and this isn't to take anything away from the Knicks because I think that they obviously have deserved to win both these games by out executing down the stretch. Weird games. Also, I Kristaps being sick, and then I don't think Jaylen Brown is healthy. Like his knee thing, I
No,
think is worse than he's letting on. So I think that's kind of like a stealth. Maybe we should have seen that coming into the series. Like, the Magic weren't very good outside of Paolo and Franz.
hmm
Those were a grind for the Celtics. I think we kind of just chalked it up to like first round series, whatever. But Jalen didn't look healthy in that series. Um, who knows? I mean, Drew looks fine, but he is coming off of something, so it's tough to repeat. And you're
it's
seeing
very
why.
tough.
I mean, going through 3-4 playoff series is hard. So I just couldn't. I can't believe it's 2-0 going back to MSG. Shout out to the Knicks for that. Shout out to
Shout out
OG.
Jalen Brunson.
Shout
Jalen
out
Brunson
Skechers.
is that fucking dog. Ever
Yep.
since, I'm gonna say it again, ever since he sent Asar off the map, he's been fucking cooking.
Ever since I said I'd take Cade over him, he's been cooking.
Dude, everyone who listens, everyone who's been listening, we have had the craziest just takes, and the complete opposite is happening. But
We've been struggling with the takes, but it's okay. I know
so
I
we
I
hit on
know that I
some.
know ball.
Yeah, we hit on some.
Yeah.
We have opinions at least. At least we got the nuts to say shit. That's all I gotta
Yep.
say.
Yep.
And
Another
you're a dumbass if you said that the Knicks were gonna take two from the Celtics anytime.
nobody said that except for like drunk Knicks fans
Yes.
outside of MSG or something. Like that's the only people that said that.
Frank the
And
Tank.
those, yeah, Frank the Tank. And those videos have the same energy as like insert small schools saying like we want Bama back in the day. Like what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. You're just trying to talk shit.
Yeah.
Um, but it's shout out to the Knicks, man. Crazy.
Shout out the Knicks. Shout out Jerry O'Connell. Bing bong.
Shout out New York. Trent Grisham just hit a home run again. That's an all-star. Another
Shout out to
crazy
baby.
series. Pacers, Cavs.
Yes.
What the fuck happened last night? What the Halliburton?
That's fucking crazy. Okay, so Cavs up 7 with 50 seconds left. You just gotta hold on to the ball, man. Like, I understand the Donovan Mitchell like offensive foul,
Yeah,
but other than that, you just gotta hold on to the ball, man. Like they had that bad inbounds pass and then the offensive foul, and
and
like
the Neesmith offensive rebound on the missed
yes, that was so
free throw.
weird too, because like Donovan Loki got hurt but didn't, and like, well, did you see the replay? Like he was past the 3-point arc, like he was
Yeah,
over the line.
yeah.
So
It
also was a weird like ticky tacky foul game too,
yeah.
which was weird. But I mean,
Everything that the Pacers needed to happen for them to win that game happened. Even
yes,
like missing the free throw to then get the offensive rebound to come out and make the game winning three. Like
mm-hmm.
I will say though, like this is the second time that's happened. This basically the same thing happened in OT to close out the Bucks, where they just everything that could have gone wrong for the Bucks happened, and everything that had to go right for the Pacers happened.
Mm-hmm.
The Halliburton experience has been fantastic this postseason, especially
Yes.
coming off of being rated as the most overrated player, and then he just has been cooking everybody.
Yes.
He hit him with the big ball celebration last night. That was awesome.
Love that is back, by the way, man. You know where that's from, Major League?
Yeah,
Crazy movie. Shout out Charlie Sheen.
Yep. Shout out Sheehan for that wild thing.
Bro. But Tyrese Halliburton, man, weird ass jump shot. I just have to say that. Like, he looks like it's like Draymond. I'm not even kidding.
A little bit. The hitch like and the bent back.
The backpack. He looks like he's got a backpack on.
Yeah.
But Draymond looks like that kid that's like, give me the ball, shoot it, like air ball. But Halliburton's like the kid that just like plays with a backpack or some shit. He like pulls up to the court with the AirPods in backpack.
They've been saying that about his shot since he was at Iowa State. They're like, when he gets to the league, he's gonna have to change it. And he just never has, and he makes his threes. So
I mean, he had enough time to get that shot off. I don't even know who it was over, but I knew exactly when it went ISO. I was like, he's shooting a three,
and he's gonna make it.
Yeah, let him go by you.
He's at that level where you think he's gonna make it. I think at this point,
100%.
This is gonna seem a little bit out of left field, but the Kings trading Halliburton so they could build around De'Aaron Fox, and then ultimately having to trade De'Aaron Fox too. This is the most Kings thing ever. We don't need to spend a lot of time talking Kings, but every time somebody brings up Halliburton and how good he is, and I'm watching him, I'm like, the Kings are stupid. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
my buddy's a Kings fan, and it's like he wants to sell everyone. I mean, everyone that they can except Zach LaVine, really.
Get them all out of there. Sabonis gone. I mean, okay.
I love Sabonis. Yeah, enough Kings talk.
That's enough Kings talk, but every time Halliburton comes up, I have to bring up the Kings because what the fuck, man?
Dude, the Pacers, they share that fucking love. They share the fucking rock. Benny the Butcher, I don't even care. That's his nickname. Everyone wants to hate. That's Benny
what I
the
call
Butcher. him. I'm going to be honest, I've never heard of Benny the Butcher, the rapper. Well, I've heard of him, but I haven't listened to him, so...
Damn, Benedict now we have beef with Benny the Butcher.
That's fine. Benedict Mathurin is Benny the Butcher.
Yeah.
But Andrew Nembhard again. Yep. Great down the stretch. 13 assists. Fucking crazy. Miles Turner has had the best playoff stretch that... I don't even know if he's had a playoff stretch like this.
No.
But, I mean, Spicy P's not even outperforming anyone. He's literally just showing up and putting up 12, 5, and 5.
Yeah, Spicy P, this is a tough matchup for him, even with no Mobley. Like, he just doesn't have a lot of space. And this is just an awkward matchup for him size-wise, but they share the rock because Halliburton, that's his game, is to move the ball around. So, like, he is, I'm not comparing him to Magic Johnson, but he's like that style of play where it's like pass first always. Like, he would rather get the ball moving and then have it come back to him, rather than thinking score first, pass later. So that rubs off on your teammates. And they're all similar in age, and they kind of know their role, like Nesmith and then Mathurin coming off the bench. Those are energy guys to come off and get physical.
100%. Even
but Mathurin,
dude.
Obi, same way. Yep.
Just that guy. But Thomas Bryant put in some minutes too. Did you have anything on that?
I saw Thomas Bryant checked in, and I just think that's Carlisle showing off. He's in his bag. Carlisle's like, you don't think I'll play Thomas Bryant?
He just pulled up, got a rebound, and got a foul, and then he was out.
And then he was out. I just feel like Carlisle is looking at everybody. He's like, you guys don't think I'll play Thomas Bryant? I'll fucking do it again.
He's in. Like, I mean, is he a power forward or center?
He's a center.
Yeah, I mean.
He used to back up Yoke.
They got decent size. They just play hard, dude. That's really all it is. Like, they play hard. I'm gonna say it again. They have the underdog mentality. They're got Halliburton's back. Like,
they have an identity.
Pretty easy. Yeah, they have it's pretty easy to win when you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, they have an identity and a style of play that they stick to, and they like. Are they gonna win a game if it's in the 90s? Probably not, but. They're gonna run and gun you, and by the end of the game, you're gonna be exhausted because you're running around. Similar to like the Warriors, how there's always movement and motion, and similar to the Cavs. Cavs do the same thing.
Yeah,
I said before the series started, these are the same teams. The Cavs are just better. It just hasn't the injuries and how good the Pacers have played. It just played out differently.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: it's going to come down to it either way, but who would you rather see advance? Because it looks like we might get the Knicks. I don't know if we will, but it looks like it. And who would you like to see advance? Because if the Cavs are plagued with injuries and they're still gonna, like, if Darius Garland's still not gonna play, I don't know what's going on with Evan Mobley. Like, DeAndre Hunter's a big piece. If they don't play, I don't really want to see Donovan Mitchell score 50. I mean, it'd be cool to see him score 50 a night, but I don't think that's gonna take him very far.
I love watching Mitchell. That dunk he had yesterday was fucking awesome before halftime. Yes. Like, I don't have anything to compare it to when he does that, like, quick, I'm going to split both the guys and then just get to the hoop. Like, yes. I guess D Wade used to do that, but, like, I feel like Mitchell does it, like, I don't know. I don't want to disrespect D Wade, but I feel like he does it just as good, if not better.
I'll say him and Ant both do that.
Ant does that too. Yep. But they're similar like that. Who would I rather see? I'm not ready to count out the Celtics in that series against the Knicks, but I feel like I'm happy with either of those teams advancing. I like watching the Knicks, and it's fun. And then I shouldn't say that. I don't love watching the Knicks whenever it's Brunson, like, just in his thing. But this version where they've been sharing the ball, I do like that. So I'm happy with either of those teams. In terms of the Pacers and Cavs, if the Cavs are not healthy, like you said, I'd rather see the Pacers. But I'm not going to complain about watching Donovan Mitchell do cool shit. I hope the Cavs can just get at least Mobley and Hunter back. I know the Garland thing is weird and it's a toe and it's hard to come back. I love Garland, though, too, so I like watching Garland. I kind of missed watching him play. I kind of like watching the Pacers anyway, though. Like, I kind of said it coming into the Bucks series, like, the Pacers are just good, and if you don't have, like, League Pass and, like, watch them, they're not on TV a lot. They're in Indiana. It's not, like, exciting, but they're fun to watch. They know who they are. I like the way that they all feed off Halliburton. And even Miles Turner is, like, exciting to me in terms of, like, he's got a lot of energy and he's been there for a while. I think I'd rather see Pacers.
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree. I was just going to say, shout out Miles Turner, man, because when he came into this league, he was straight, like, defensive guy, like, lockdown. I mean, scoring only inside the post. And now he's, like,
stretch five.
He really only shoots threes. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
threes and dunks.
Yeah, like, he doesn't have the best footwork in the paint anymore, and he knows that. And,
yeah.
I mean, he still plays fucking crazy good defense.
Yep. Stretch five.
Yeah, and if anyone deserves it on the Pacers, it's him, because he's been with that organization, and, like, he's always been Pacers through and through.
He's been surviving trade rumors since I was in high school.
Dude, I mean, shit. Yeah. I don't mean to bring up 2K again, but I remember fucking balling with Miles Turner.
Yeah. I guess quick on the Pacers. I know we're doing a lot on them, but I was thinking before the pod started, because we just watched the Knicks win and they're up 2-0. There's, like, a path now for the Pacers to make the finals,
which is wild.
Which nobody would have said coming into the playoffs. They would have said, yeah, maybe they could make the Eastern Conference Finals again and lose to the Celtics or lose to whoever. Mm-hmm. But if the Knicks and Pacers make it, or even if the Celtics come back and make it, like, and they're still kind of, like, injured, the Pacers could make the finals, which is crazy to think.
It is fucking wild to think. And what's even more wild to think is on the Western side with the Nuggets, if they were to do something Knicks-esque or Pacers-esque, that would be absolutely wild.
Yeah,
because I guess at the start of the playoffs, everyone was writing off everyone that weren't OKC or the Cavs or the Celtics. Yeah, and they're complete kind of fucking train wrecks right now. So
the Cavs and Celtics for sure are in a tough spot, depending on what happens with OKC tonight. I feel better about OKC. It's not going to be a cakewalk because it's Jokic, and I feel like I want to clarify that when we say that we think OKC is going to kill Denver, it's not a not believing in Jokic thing. It's more the people around him and thinking they're going to come back to earth. But Russ has just been playing good, and, like, crazy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I thought Russ was just going to keep playing good. I've been wrong about that. I also know Russ can prove me right like that very quickly. He can prove me right. So,
quick, did you see the Russ? They interviewed him and said 2012 OKC or this year's OKC? He said 2012.
Yeah. I mean, all right, man. I mean, I guess that's a pretty good question, but of course he's gonna go 2012. He was on that fucking team. Um,
Yeah, but that was a crazy team. KD, James
yeah,
Harden, Perk, and Serge.
Harden off the bench.
Harden off the bench. And Cephalosha.
Thabo. Um,
Crazy.
um, yeah, I feel like we have to talk a little bit about them blowing that game. OKC,
Yeah.
I know. So they're playing right now in their second game, so we'll see what happens in that one. But
Mm-hmm.
they were up 10 with like 2 minutes left, and they kind of just let Denver stick around. Jokic started making plays. He makes that three to cut it to one. And then I don't know why OKC was fouling so early with so much time left, up three. I'm a fan of fouling up three, but not until there's like a 6-ish seconds left. Then you can start fouling up three. But
Dude, they were
they
doing it with like 40 seconds left.
with like
Like,
30, 40, yeah,
and it was also like straight inbound, like bucket, inbound, foul. It's like, why
immediately.
you let them bring it up the floor? Like, what are they gonna do? Try to do like one of those like pull ups to make it look like they're shooting?
Yeah.
Like, have
Let
you
them
seen
pass the
one of
ball
those
around.
get called? Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
you're up three, dude. Just don't give up a three. Fucking give them a lane.
Let him pass the ball around. Maybe it'll end up in fucking Russ's hands. Foul him. He's gonna go one
Exactly.
of two.
Exactly.
Like
Like,
it's just weird that they were fouling the first guy, especially with that they've been well coached all year, and like the people who were out there committing the fouls, Caruso, Shea, like those are good players that have been in playoff series before. Caruso won a ring with the Lakers. Like it's just weird to me that none of them were like, hey, maybe we should fucking let this play out a little bit.
you're also a
And
good defensive team. Get a
yep,
stop. You're
they've
getting
been
stops all game.
they have been getting stops and steals all game. And so it
Uh,
just made no sense. I felt like they were a little bit flabbergasted that they were in that position. I think they thought when they were up like 10 or 12 with 3 minutes left, they were like, it's over.
yeah.
But it's never over with Jokic. He's
Hell
just
no.
always going to find a way to keep the team in the game. He was fucking
Mm-hmm.
awesome, 40, 20, and like 8.
Stupid.
I mean, just dumb. And then he was
Why?
at the bar after with a shooting sleeve on.
Fire.
That's awesome.
Fire. Well, when he was like doing his little jab step at the top of the like 3 point line against Hartenstein, I was like, dude, he's shooting a fucking three, and like you're not gonna be able to block it because the motherfucker's releasing it from back here. So like, at least get up on him or something. Like make it kind of hard. Like he goes by you again. You're up three. Like you're still gonna be up one. It's not like it's a tie game or anything like that. You give up a three, like tie game.
People don't, well, they probably realize this when they're on the court. Like I'm sure they get coached up on this, but like with Joker, you have to like off the ball, not let him get. I know he's huge, so it's easier said than done. But like when you let him get to the top of the key like that off the ball, and then he gets the ball and he's in a spot where he can shoot it or pass it. Like it's already over. You're already dead. You have to. It sounds dumb, but like a little bit of a step behind that so that he actually has to dribble to get into his offense, and then you have a better chance. But if you let him catch it like at the elbow or at the top of the key, you're fucked. Like
You
you're
are fucked.
completely fucked because he'll make that shot every time, or
Yeah.
he'll just find somebody wide the fuck open back cutting, or he'll back you down like that. I will say the one thing for OKC that they should be a little worried about, and I think they're going to play Harden's team more in the second game, is that when Yoke sees Chet, it's just he's like, I'm gonna fucking take this directly into your chest, and then I'm gonna make a skyhook, like right over you.
Which I mean, it's fair. He also kind
Yeah,
of took it to Hartenstein too. Like he got both.
yeah,
He got three of them in foul trouble too. I forgot who the other one was, but they're all in foul trouble pretty early.
yeah. It's tough to guard him. I mean, but even all that being said, Jokic was awesome all game. They were still up 10 and blew it with 2 minutes left. Like, and it was hot potato at the end of the game, like
Yeah,
between Chet and Jalen, like somebody other than Shea to like, because they were denying Shea the ball, so it's like somebody else has got to do something. And
I mean,
reminded
shit.
me of Jalen last year in the playoffs. Like he couldn't get it out of his hands fast enough. He looked really uncomfortable late, and then Chet misses two huge free throws. Doesn't look very good late. Like they need to grow up fast in these moments because they're similar to the Knicks with Brunson. Denver games are going to come down to the last few minutes, and Jokic has been there, done that.
Yeah,
So OKC does need to grow up quick.
yeah, I agree. Uh, and I mean, I don't know if we said it earlier, but like 11 seconds left in the game. Jokic is on the bench. Why foul? Why let their only offense best player get back in the game? Why just let it play out? See what happens. No one else is gonna like be that playmaker and even like try to take ISO or like find someone off of after they're driving in a dish, like what Jokic does every single time.
That was the biggest mistake of the game. Like letting it get to that point was a big enough mistake. Fouling so much before that was a big enough mistake. But when Shea makes that dunk to make it 119, 116, and there's 11 seconds left, and Denver has no timeouts, and like you said, Joker is stuck on the bench.
Yeah.
He cannot come in unless there's a dead ball. Caruso just fouls Aaron Gordon immediately. There's like 10 seconds left. That doesn't make any sense. If I'm coaching Oklahoma State in that situation, I'm letting that entire possession play out.
Oh yeah.
Without Jokic on the floor, because, and then if they get a good look and they make a three, then so be it. You go to overtime at home, and it's like okay, but
you have that like, I mean, they had the lead the whole game.
I just couldn't believe that because that lets him get back on the floor and like Jokic is a player coach, like a Bill Russell in the '60s style player coach. He's out there calling all the plays. So if you have a chance for him to not be out there for the biggest possession of the game, something tells me Denver would have fucked that up.
Yes, like, I agree. I mean, like, other than Jamal Murray, who's bringing the fucking ball up the floor, who is everyone looking at to do something?
It's like Russ, Aaron Gordon, and Braun, I think, were the ones that were in the game. And, like, I'm sorry, other than Jamal Murray, like, basically you just don't let Jamal Murray get a good shot off in that situation, and I think you're fine.
I mean, Jamal Murray he didn't have a good fucking game. I'm not going to lie.
No, he didn't. But he's the only one in that situation. Like, if I'm OKC in that situation and I see Jokers on the bench, I'm selling out on basically Gordon and Murray, and I'm letting Braun and Russ do whatever the fuck you want.
Yes.
I don't give a shit.
Yes.
Like, it's just so weird to me that they did that and didn't let, like, maybe just see how they react. Like, Gordon's got the ball. Jokic isn't in the game. See if he panics a little bit before you foul him. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. I mean, with 11 seconds left, it's probably going to take him 2 seconds to get the ball to their side of the court. Like, yeah. And then, obviously, they're going to run some ISO play, maybe pick and roll. For that to develop, there's another 5 seconds. So, you're telling me you're giving Jamal Murray, Christian Braun, Russ, Aaron Gordon less than 5 seconds to make a decision.
And then if your plan is still to foul, this is what's crazy. If your plan is still to foul, you can do it then. When there's 3 seconds left. Yes. Like that just was not executed well. And Dagnall said it after the game. He was like, "That was my fault, my mistake. We fouled too quickly, and I told him to do that." And
I don't see, like, I'm not the kind. I would rather see that play out in the end. Like, I don't. Yeah. Like you said, I'll up 3. Like, obviously fouling a not very good free throw shooter. I see that. But with a minute left still, like, only up, what was it? Like, well, it was up, you were up 10 still. Yeah. And I don't know.
It was weird. It was weird to me. This is going to be a crazy poll, but I feel like I have to do this, even though it's kind of a self-own on the Seahawks. With those 11 seconds left, I think Denver would have started to panic a little bit because Jokic isn't on the floor and Murray would have had to run it, and I think they would have sold out for him and put Caruso on him and Shea at the same time. When the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots, they run the ball, right? And then everybody's expecting Bill Belichick to take a timeout, but he doesn't. He let it play out and let the play clock get low because he said he saw on the other sideline that they were all kind of panicking when they realized that the clock was running down and they weren't going to call a timeout. Russ throws a pick on that next play. They did panic. If you go back and watch that, like, they don't know what they're doing in the huddle. They don't know if they should call a timeout. Belichick's just standing there calm, cool, collected. I know he hasn't had the best run lately, but he is the best coach of all time. And I'm just saying, like, that's the first thing that came to my head was like, dude, in these situations, you need to not overcoach and just let the other team implode.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, especially the Nuggets don't even have a fucking coach right now.
No, it's just Jokic. He's a player coach. Yeah. He's a player coach on the floor like Bill Russell. It's crazy.
It's insane.
There's times where he's coming up the floor and he's like, you here. No, you go there. Okay, this awesome. Guy this way. It's awesome.
I would pay to be like a fly and just like hover over that game. It'd be
Dude,
fucking awesome.
the video that went viral of him like yelling at everybody in the huddle, like he's
Yeah.
the coach isn't even talking.
He's
Adelman
probably
isn't even
doing like the
talking.
weird like interview, like the
Exactly.
before the quarter interviews. I think those are so
Exactly.
funny. Joe Mazzulla is my favorite on those.
They're like, yeah, what do you want
Um,
to see in the second half? I think we should play some defense. All right, thanks.
execute.
Back to you.
Yep. Thanks, coach. But yeah, crazy. We'll see what happens tonight. They're,
Yep,
I think OKC's up right now, but I guarantee you they'll be up.
it'll be
It's been
close.
crazy. All these playoff series, like you really don't need to watch the first half. Like you watch the second half, you'll get the whole narrative of the whole game.
And that's what people say. That's kind of people's complaint about basketball these days anyway, is just the way that teams can get back into a game. You just watch the fourth quarter. I mean, I like to watch the whole game just for the vibe, but
Yeah.
the
I mean, it's a game
just
of
watching the
runs.
fourth quarter.
It's always going to be a game of runs. And
Yeah,
like, it just depends how much that run is and if you can stop it or not.
exactly. Last game was the only game that really wasn't that exciting. It was last night. Warriors and Wolves. Obviously, the biggest story that came out of that is just that Steph's hand or hamstring
Yeah.
pulled his hamstring, and sounds like he's going to be out for reevaluated in a week, which means he would miss games 2, 3, and potentially 4.
Hmm.
Which last night it didn't look like they needed him much because the Wolves couldn't make a three again. I think they were so this game 1, and then game 5 of the Lakers series combined. I think I read something that they were 12 of 76 from three in those 2 games combined. So that's terrible.
Shout out Buddy Hield.
Yep.
Shout out the Bahama boy. He's been playing like ass all fucking series, but these last 2 games, going back to the Rockets game and then this game, like
Yep.
he's not Robin, but
He's been a stud though.
yeah, he's been acting like Robin. Jimmy Butler's been Batman, but
Pretty
yeah,
crazy considering Buddy was out of the rotation like mid-season.
yeah, but it is crazy. I mean, it's crazy that he's had the bounce back he has.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if it's the matchup for him. I don't. I would assume it's a better matchup for him because I don't really know who's guarding him on the Rockets most of the time. It probably rotated a little bit, but
Yeah.
who
I think
does
he
he
was
have
a let him
Dante on
shoot.
him? Is Dante letting
Dante
him get all these buckets, man?
Dante and I think I mean when Steph left it was just a lot of switching obviously, but
Yeah.
he was just open he was open a lot though is the thing, and but he was also taken to the hoop a little bit. He was kind of showing like an overall game. And one of the threes he made was big because there was a moment in this game late where it got a little weird, like the Wolves got it within 7 or like 7 or 8,
Mhm.
and the Warriors had a bad offensive possession and the ball just kind of ended up in Buddy's hands and he just splashed a three to put him back up like double digits by like 11, and that was with like a minute and a half left and that was basically game. So shout out to Buddy for that. Shout out to Draymond. This is a pro Draymond podcast,
Always will be, man.
and he balled out last night too.
Yeah. I have a question for you. So most of these games have been very, very low scoring. Very
Hmm.
low scoring. What do you think that is? What the reason of that is?
The physicality of the teams that are left, I think. Like the Wolves are an extremely physical team. The Rockets were a very physical team. The Warriors can be, they can play that way. I think they'd rather not for Steph's sake, but I mean, Draymond would rather get physical, but like everybody else, I think would rather not. And then the Nuggets are a super physical team. The Thunder are an extremely physical team. The Celtics, the Knicks, like the Pistons when they were in it. I think it's just the way the game is going is a lot of length and athleticism and like 3-and-D type guys around, and then surrounded by like a couple younger stars if you're a good team, or older stars too. And I just think that has led to some lower scoring games. That being said, Cavs Pacers is like awesome offensive basketball, and it's physical, but not as physical as the other series. It's really just Neesmith and Benny trying to get physical with everybody, but Benny's trying to fight no matter what. But I think it's the physicality, and there's even been like articles written about it, like I think it's funny, like side note, I've been seeing articles written about some of the injuries that have come out of this and like the physicality being a potential problem. But for the past 5 years, I've had to read articles about how the NBA is soft and that's why nobody watches and it's all threes and it's all pussy shit and whatever. And it's like now it's getting physical and people are like, oh, like national writers are like, oh my God, they're fighting and there's injuries because of this. And I'm like, you can't have it both ways. Where you complain, but then now it's physical and now they're playing defense and you're like, no, don't do that. So
Yeah.
People just like to complain about basketball. I like watching basketball. So
Oh, especially these playoffs. These playoffs have been good. Like I feel like the last couple of years has been kind of you already know what is going to happen with every series, but my take on this is the replays. I think with the replays, they're taking too long, but obviously I understand that it does take a little bit of time to make the right call, especially in a video replay. But I mean, these guys are sitting for like 5 to 10 minutes, like over and over and over, and like they have to get back into a rhythm of the game. So, in like, I think that when they're trying to get back into the rhythm of the game, it's like they're taking a couple shots, obviously missing, like they don't have the same rhythm. It's just kind of getting going again, like after a timeout. Obviously, that's what stops runs, and that's what stops a lot of like high scoring games. So I think that what's going on as far as low scoring games in the playoffs, because especially in this series or with Golden State, they have had so many fucking reviews every game, and obviously that's because of Dre, but we love that.
no, it makes it clunky. I'm glad you said that because I hate the reviews. I hate that everything has to go to a review.
It's like every time.
Yes, I hate that it all has to go to review when it's late, like with 2 minutes left. I know I just said people like to complain about basketball, but I'm going to complain about basketball really quick. With 2 minutes left, it might as well be 2 hours sometimes in a close game because coaches are good. They save their timeouts. They'll have like fucking 3 left for the last like minute, 3 minutes. And that's smart. I get it. And I would say they were stupid if they didn't, but it just does. There's no flow to it. It's why I actually love watching like like Olympic basketball, like FIBA rules, because there's none of that shit. It just is it's go, and you can actually watch teams panic at the end when they don't know what to do. So that's probably my only complaint. And so I'm glad you said that. That probably does contribute, especially late in the game, to some of the lower scoring for sure.
I love it when the players like, and then look at the coach and they're like,
what and the coach is always looking at the video guys. He's like, what should I do? Nope, can't do it. Sorry, Dre.
That guy with the iPad is stressed out so fucking bad. He's like, dude, I don't know.
Sometimes the camera will catch the guys on the iPad and they'll be like, yeah. Like, oh, they're like, yeah, go do it. Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
The call stands.
My favorite is
the iPad to the next guy.
The Wolves guy will always give a thumbs up or thumbs down. He'll go.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, even sometimes it's a toss up still. Like you think a play is obviously going to go one way and it's still a toss up.
I hate whenever like I like that the NFL doesn't allow this because it would annoy me, but like I hate that in the NBA you're allowed to like challenge for something, right? But then if the ref sees something else, they can make that call. Like like they're challenging the out of bounds, but then they're like, after reviewing, the out of bounds doesn't even matter because Tatum was fouled or something, and you're like, that's not even what was challenged. So like you missed it. Who the fuck cares? Like I don't know.
Didn't they do that one year in the NFL where they could like challenge a pass interference or something like that?
I think they brought it up. Oh yeah.
I think they did it 1 year, and it was
terrible.
Weird. It was terrible
because like, it was you could
call the pass interference on every fucking play.
Yeah, they did something like that. I think they took it away pretty quick though.
Which I mean they should have, because there's always a foul in every NFL play.
I would like there to be less things you can challenge in all sports. Yeah. This is like a quick puck talk, but like in puck, they made it to where you can challenge like offsides. So like sometimes you'll come into the offensive zone and somebody was like barely like this much offsides.
It was barely over.
Barely. And then they'll be in the offensive zone for like a minute and a half and then they score. You can go back in time after they scored and challenge the offsides. I think that's bullshit because it's like, dude, he was barely offsides. And then that's not why they scored. They were in the offensive zone. So that plus
I
some of
mean,
the stuff we see in the NBA, it just bothers me.
I'll say it's the same thing in the NBA. Like, foot on the line for a 3-pointer, like, they can change that at any point.
Yeah,
And
and then
it's
all of a
like,
sudden they have one less point.
yeah, it's like, shit, I didn't get that shit when I was hooping, but I
No,
wasn't shooting threes, so I don't fucking
I mean when I was hooping was eighth grade, so I don't know.
know.
They didn't have much of that.
Fuck. Uh,
Um,
Last thing, man.
Pickens,
Rush.
R.I.P. the jersey in the back.
R.I.P. Pickens, man. I mean, if I'm gonna say one thing, I'm glad it's Pickens and not TJ. But it's probably gonna be TJ now that I said that. Now that I just realized. So waking up this morning, it was about 5 a.m. I get a little notification on my Garmin watch. I thought it was my alarm. Said George Pickens expected to be traded to the Cowboys by the end of the day for a third and a fifth. And I roll over to my girlfriend. I say, "Hey, George Pickens just got traded," and that's how my day started.
Rough day to start. Rough way to start your day as a Steelers fan.
hmm I mean, George
But
is my boy. George is my boy. We talked about it before. I never thought he was going to be dealt for a third. I mean, look at his stats last year: 900 yards, 4 touchdowns. I don't think that's worth the third, in my opinion. Third and a fifth. So
yeah, and then you gave a sixth, so it's kind of a swap because it's like end of the fifth, start of the
yeah,
sixth for that. But then the third, I said it before we started. Um, I wouldn't give up more than a fifth if I was a GM. I think that the Steelers are ecstatic to get a third in exchange for Pickens, who, as much as he's like a fan favorite, I think, or he's very polarizing because he's either a fan favorite or you hate him if you're a Steelers fan because you're annoyed
yeah,
with him. But
yeah.
he hasn't had the production you would want, even though he's fun to watch and he makes awesome catches. And he
hmm
also clearly, I don't know the guy, but speculating based on what I've watched and heard, he doesn't have his head on straight. So
No.
you get him off the team. DK, I guess, gets to just be the alpha now. My dad is a Steelers fan, so he called me and he was like, "No, we'll be fine. Who's our other receivers?" And I started naming them off. And I said Robert Woods, Calvin Austin, and then he goes Roman Wilson,
Roman
and he
Wilson.
goes, "Oh, okay,
No.
maybe we do need another one." And I said, "Yeah."
We
So I was telling him it's kind of weird. It's because you guys have so many picks next year. We were talking about this earlier.
13.
It seems like you might be trying to trade up to get a quarterback next year if necessary,
Yeah.
and maybe throwing this year away a little bit. But that's just it's weird to me because Tomlin doesn't feel like 100% safe to me if they have a bad season. So like, why would
No.
he be into the idea of not doing well this year? Because I think he gets canned if they stink.
I I also think he gets canned if they stink, but in my opinion, I think they're obviously actually I don't know if obviously, but I think they're going to start the year with Mason Rudolph. If he gives us like if we start like 3-2, I think Will Howard comes in. Um and then if Will Howard doesn't work out, like they have a backup plan. They have they can easily get because next year's quarterback draft is kind of fucking stacked. Better than
It
this year
should
for
be.
sure.
It's better than this year. It should be a good draft as long as Aller progresses and if Sellers makes a jump and they
Yeah.
can join Nussmeier and maybe Cade Klubnik if he makes a jump, that could be a really good top four.
Yeah. And I
Um,
mean, they got a first, a second, and 3 thirds. Three
yeah,
thirds is crazy. Like you can get I mean, and we got DK locked down for 5 years, so he's gonna be there.
yeah.
We have Caleb Johnson on his rookie contract now, and Jalen Warren. We'll probably re-sign him depending on what kind of year he has. But as far as the wide receiver room, I don't mind Calvin Austin. Like he low-key
Yeah,
had a better year than Pickens did, but I kind of think it was because George Pickens took a lot of the attention. I mean, there was nothing really else on the Steelers offense that needed attention. I don't know if Van Jefferson was fucking getting double teamed at all.
yeah.
Um, but I think as far as DK and George Pickens comparing them, I think George obviously has the speed. George has the hands. I'm taking DK like always, just because he's a little bit less of a crash out, and I think he's going to be better in the locker room. Um, and also, like, his relationships with quarterbacks, especially if we're going to have young guys starting, like, he can help them way more than I think George is going to help a younger quarterback. George is just going to be like, give me the ball,
Yeah.
I'll fucking do it. But DK's probably like, what do you see on this read? I see this. Like, let's fucking collaborate.
Yeah. DK has been around the game his whole life, and and as a Seahawks fan, like he's done it in big moments in playoff games. I mean, it was a while ago when he was a rookie, but he sealed that game against the Eagles. I can always remember that, and he's played well in big moments, and he takes the top off the defense. And I think he'll be good for somebody like Austin and also Roman Wilson too. Just like people obviously gravitated to him in the Seahawks locker room, so he's a good guy to have around. And him and Pickens together, maybe the Steelers just knew it wasn't going to work. Like, and also when they gave DK that huge contract, then there was no way Pickens was also going to get a huge contract. So getting a third for him, and then now somebody else has to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
The writing was on the wall, and it's a good football move. So stinks for the fans that like Pickens, but hey, that's just how it goes sometimes.
That's football, and I've had the worst luck with jerseys, man, ever.
Yeah, you have.
Since my only two I have right now is obviously the George Pickens jersey.
And who else?
Dwayne Haskins. Yeah. So
rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins.
So what jersey do you think I should get next?
I like the Jack Sawyer dirty jersey.
Captain Jack Sawyer.